Welcome. Today we will be reading Review Section 2, Introduction, and Lesson 81 from the workbook. And from the text, Chapter 8, Section 6, The Treasure of God. And now for Review Section 2, Introduction. We are now ready for another review. We will begin where our last review left off and cover 2 ideas each day. The earlier part of each day will be devoted to one of these ideas, and the latter part of the day to the other. We will have one longer exercise period and frequent shorter ones in which we practice each of them. The longer practice periods will follow this general form. Take about 15 minutes for each of them, and begin by thinking about the ideas for the day and the comments that are included in the assignments. Devote some 3 or 4 minutes to reading them over slowly, several times if you wish, and then close your eyes and listen. Repeat the first phase of the exercise period if you find your mind wandering, but try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly but attentively. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident that you will receive it. Remember that it belongs to you and that you want it. Do not allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Realize that whatever form such thoughts may take, they have no meaning and no power. Replace them with your determination to succeed. Do not forget that your will has power over all fantasies and dreams. Trust it to see you through and carry you beyond them all. Regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. You are dedicated to salvation. Be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. Reaffirm your determination in the shorter practice periods as well, using the original form of the idea for general applications and more specific forms when needed. Some specific forms are included in the comments which follow the statement of the ideas. These, however, are merely suggestions. It is not the particular words you use that matter. Lesson 81. Our ideas for review today are 61. I am the light of the world. How holy am I, who have been given the function of lighting up the world. Let me be still before my holiness. In its calm light, let all my conflicts disappear. In its peace, let me remember who I am. Some specific forms for applying this idea when special difficulties seem to arise might be: let me not obscure the light of the world in me. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance. This shadow will vanish before the light. (62) Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. It is through accepting my function that I will see the light in me. And in this light will my function stand clear and perfectly unambiguous before my sight. My acceptance does not depend on my recognizing what my function is, for I do not yet understand forgiveness. Yet I will trust that in the light I will see it as it is. Specific forms for using this idea might include: let this help me learn what forgiveness means. Let me not separate my function from my will. I will not use this for an alien purpose. In the intro to this review section of the last 20 lessons, we are instructed to first read the lesson and then, with eyes closed, to listen quietly but attentively for a message awaiting oneself, being both confident and determined that one will receive it. Also, one is being directed to both use the lesson ideas in their written form and to also alter the wording as needed, noting that what really matters is not the particular words or forms one uses, but rather that it is the substance or essence of the idea that is of primary concern. And finally, in Lesson 81, we are being guided to contemplate that it is in the peaceful light of awareness that all one's conflicts disappear. And it is through one's function of forgiveness that what is blocking the light will be removed. And now for our text reading for today. from chapter 8, section 6, The Treasure of God. We are the joint will of the sonship, whose wholeness is for all. We begin the journey back by setting out together and gather in our brothers as we continue together. Every gain in our strength is offered for all, so they too can lay aside their weakness and add their strength to us. God's welcome waits for us all, and He will welcome us as I am welcoming you. Forget not the kingdom of God, for anything the world has to offer. The world can add nothing to the power and glory of God and His holy sons, but it can blind the sons to the Father if they behold it. You cannot behold the world and know God. Only one is true. I am come to tell you that the choice of which is true is not yours to make. If it were, you would have destroyed yourself. Yet God did not will the destruction of His creations, having created them for eternity. His will has saved you not from yourself, but from your illusion of yourself. He has saved you for yourself. Let us glorify Him whom the world denies, for over His kingdom the world has no power. No one created by God can find joy in anything except the eternal, not because he is deprived of anything else, but because nothing else is worthy of him. What God and His sons create is eternal, and in this and this only is their joy. Listen to the story of the prodigal son and learn what God's treasure is and yours. This son of a loving father left his home and thought he had squandered everything for nothing of any value, although he had not understood its worthlessness at the time. He was ashamed to return to his father because he thought he had hurt him. Yet when he came home, the father welcomed him with joy, because the son himself was his father's treasure. He wanted nothing else. God wants only His Son, because His Son is His only treasure. You want your creations as He wants His. Your creations are your gift to the Holy Trinity, created in gratitude for your creation. They do not leave you any more than you left your Creator, but they extend your creation as God extended himself to you. Can the creations of God himself take joy in what is not real? And what is real except the creations of God and those that are created like his? Your creations love you as you love your Father. For the gift of creation. There is no other gift that is eternal, and therefore there is no other gift that is true. How then can you accept anything else or give anything else and expect joy in return? And what else but joy would you want? You made neither yourself nor your function. You made only the decision to be unworthy of both. Yet you cannot make yourself unworthy because you are the treasure of God, and what he values is valuable. There can be no question of its worth, because its value lies in God's sharing himself with it and establishing its value forever. Your function is to add to God's treasure by creating yours. His will to you is his will for you. He would not withhold creation from you because his joy is in it. You cannot find joy except as God does. His joy lay in creating you, and he extends his fatherhood to you so that you can extend yourself as he did. You do not understand this because you do not understand him. No one who does not accept his function can understand what it is, and no one can accept his function unless he knows what he is. Creation is the will of God. His will created you to create. Your will was not created separate from his, and so you must will as he wills. An unwilling will does not mean anything, being a contradiction in terms that actually means nothing. When you think you are unwilling to will with God, you are not thinking. God's will is thought. It cannot be contradicted by thought. God does not contradict himself, and his sons who are like him cannot contradict themselves or him. Yet their thought is so powerful that they can even imprison the mind of God's Son, if they so choose. This choice does make the Son's function unknown to him, but never to his Creator. and because it is not unknown to his Creator, it is forever knowable to him. There is no question but one you should ever ask of yourself. Do I want to know my Father's will for me? He will not hide it. He has revealed it to me because I asked it of him and learned of what he had already given. Our function is to work together, because apart from each other we cannot function at all. The whole power of God's Son lies in all of us, but not in any of us alone. God would not have us be alone, because he does not will to be alone. That is why he created his Son and gave him the power to create with him. Our creations are as holy as we are, and we are the sons of God himself, as holy as he is. Through our creations we extend our love, and thus increase the joy of the Holy Trinity. You do not understand this because you, who are God's own treasure, do not regard yourself as valuable. Given this belief, you cannot understand anything. I share with God the knowledge of the value he puts upon you. My devotion to you is of him, being born of my knowledge of myself and him. We cannot be separated. Whom God has joined cannot be separated, and God has joined all his sons with himself. Can you be separated from your life and your being? The journey to God is merely the reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always and what you are forever. It is a journey without distance to a goal that has never changed. Truth can only be experienced. It cannot be described, and it cannot be explained. I can make you aware of the conditions of truth, but the experience is of God. Together we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself. What God has willed for you is yours. He has given his will to his treasure, whose treasure it is. Your heart lies where your treasure is, as his does. You who are beloved of God are wholly blessed. Learn this of me, and free the holy will of all those who are as blessed as you are. In this section, we are reminded that we all are the treasures of our source, love itself. In the story of the prodigal son, we see that after wasting his inheritance on useless items, the prodigal son becomes fearful of his father's judgment and condemnation. But when he returns to his father's house, the father does not attack the son for his poor choices, but greets him joyfully, knowing his son is his true treasure. We were also reminded that we are all joined together in oneness. Whom love has joined cannot be separated. And love has joined all of love's creations with itself. Thus, the journey back home to Source, to life eternal, is the reawakening of the awareness of where one is always and what one is forever.